Okay, I'm hoping I've gone live here. Good morning, everybody. How's things looking? Yeah. Okay. I've got some corrections I need to make, or not, maybe not so much corrections as further explanations of some things I said yesterday. All right. Because I listened back to part of yesterday's program and I realized that some of the things that I wasn't exactly clear on my position on some of these things that was happening or that's been happening in the house. All right. Um, I just want to make it clear that I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, a supporter of McCarthy. All right. The man is a weasel. He's a Democrat light. That's all there is to it. All right. My problem with what's been going on is that there's been a is that I don't like the public uh everything that's being I don't like the this whole mess being portrayed out in public like it has been. I would much rather have it being behind the scenes. uh Nobody likes watching the sausage being made, let's put it that way. I've made sausage and I can understand why people don't like watching it being made because it's not a pretty sight. It's ugly. But this is a battle that needs to be done. McCarthy does need to step aside. He stepped aside once before, and unfortunately, we got Ryan in. And Ryan, while he really uh, he acted in ways not expected, let's just say. I was not and am not a fan of Ryan and the crap he pulled, and how badly he hurt the first 2 years of the Trump administration. I was glad to see Ryan go. Good morning, Sean. How you doing today? So, and I made clear yesterday I'm not a big fan of Bo Bear. I think I called her the Republican AOC, which I really do think she is. Matt Gates is I'm not while I support, I mean he's like Trump. Support a lot of his positions. I just don't support him. He's a bit of a there's better ways I think sometimes of doing things than what he's been than how he does them. Good morning, Ms. Raman.
Good morning.
And
How are
how
you?
is you this morning?
I am doing fabulous. How are you?
Uh well I'm up and then the three S's. So
Oh,
you know what the three S's are, right?
I have a feeling what the first two are, but maybe you could help me out.
Chit, shower, and shave.
Oh, not what I was thinking. Okay, glad we cleared that up.
So
Uh, so what are
it
okay? So
was a
what are we
rough
talking about here?
it was a rough night last night, Ramen. So I was got to bed about quarter to midnight. Was up again at 2, up again at 3, up again at 5, up again at 6. Well, 6:30.
Okay, now was this of your own
But
volition or were you awakened?
um, let's just say my body, parts of my body decided that I would be awakened.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That was me the last few days, but whatever. That's my responsibility. So
That, that thank God I cut up a bunch of my pain pills in half and I put them over to the side and I keep them next to my bedstand.
Yeah.
So, just reach over, dry swallow,
And
and try to go
hey,
back to sleep.
whatever works for you, man.
Yeah. Sean, you're right. A lot of these political experts need to just sit down and shut up.
Oh, this shit.
But now, Robin, I'm trying to, I'm trying to be a little more, clarify a little bit more my position on what's going on in the House right now, and
Oh, okay. So we're not talking about politics.
this whole McCarthy issue
Oh,
and the battle between him, the 200 and some that are supporting him, and the 20 some that aren't.
God.
All right. And I do support the 20 some that don't, that I support the positions of Matt Gaetz and the Freedom Caucus when it
Okay.
comes to what they're saying. McCarthy is weak. He is a California Republican. He is not a conservative such as I would want to see in office, but he is what he is, and there's not a whole heck of a lot I can do about it. All I can say is
You're
I
roboting,
don't,
and I don't know
I,
if it's me.
I'm sorry.
Are you? It sounds like you're roboting, but I don't know if it's me.
Oh, well, I may have walked outside of the range, gotten slightly out of the range of
Oh,
my
okay.
Bluetooth. It should
Okay,
be
so
back
it
to
might not
normal
be.
now.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I also have a lot of stuff open, so I have to keep an eye on that.
Well, I also walked out to the front of the house to let my puppy back in. He was sitting there
Oh,
barking at the front
puppy.
door.
And I never heard him. That's a good headset.
So, well, he was at the front door barking. So
Oh,
anyway, um, I don't want it. I don't want anybody to think that I support McCarthy
right.
in any way, shape, or form because I don't. But I feel that a lot of this sausage making could have been done behind the scenes, and I put the blame on both. I put the blame on both sides, but mostly McCarthy.
Okay.
He should understand that he's been in politics enough to understand that the mood of the people that elected Republicans, enough Republicans to take over the House under Republican control again, is not a Democrat light position. He should have understand that after the summer of peace, after everything that's gone on in the school board systems, how the
Mm-hmm.
FBI has been misused by the Democrats to uh, prosecute conservatives and conservative positions, and those with conservative positions, how the IRS has been misused, that the Republicans, conservatives in this country are angry, and that we want things to happen. And he has, by refusing the basic things uh, that this Freedom Caucus wanted to get done in the first quarter, by refusing to do them. This idea of term limits, no, I'm not a fan of the idea of term limits. All right. Do
Really?
I think some people? No, I'm not a fan of term limits because I feel that while I am not a fan of professional politicians, I'm also not a fan of the idea of taking away um, the choice, the right of the people to choose who their representative in the Congress is.
Oh, okay. You know what? I mixed that up with something else. I was thinking of like you said, the career politicians who are there for like 80 years, and the only way anyone is voted in is if someone dies. And
Right. And I'm not I don't like that idea. I won't vote for somebody that's been in office more than 3 terms.
okay.
All right. I will look for someone new to vote for because that individual's been in office too long. He's now becoming indoctrinated into the professional politician class.
Hmm.
All right. And 3 terms, I'm talking, well, actually 2 terms for the Senate and 3, maybe 4 terms for a House member. 8 years, because I mean, House is only in there for 2 years.
Hmm.
All right. So 10 years is where I start looking at, all right, do I want to kick this person out of office?
Right.
Give them a decade up there in office and then, hey, it's time to get somebody else in there. Because it does take a little while I mean, you're stepping into a new job, an area you've never done before. You've got to learn the ropes. You've got to learn how things are done and what it takes to make changes. And I mean, you're not going to do that in 2 years. You're
Right.
not going to understand how things happen in 2 years. It's not going to work that way. But I also don't want you in there so long that you've forgotten what it's like to be on this other side of that, what it's like to be a normal person.
You don't want them in there so long. They're seeing some new kid coming. Oh, hey, sorry about your dad, but I'm glad you got his spot. And you know,
Right.
yeah,
But then I also am not a fan of the idea that you can't choose who you want to represent you.
exactly. And you can't change your mind in a year or two when you know.
No, I mean, if a population, if like again, let's look at the House member. All right,
Hmm.
who's all right? If that small part of that state decides that they want that guy in there for 20 years, that's their right to choose to put him in there for 20 years. I
Hmm.
don't like the idea of taking the right away from the people to choose who they want to represent them if they feel
Right.
that person has done them a good job.
Hmm.
Part of the problem we've got though when choosing the uh, our politics here today, it's no longer the old premise of all politics is local. We've seemed to have gotten away from that, uh, especially in the Congress, where now it's, well, we need to take this local issue, make it a federal issue. We've got 3 states that have this law. Let's just make it every state have. Well, instead of having 3 individual states having very similar laws, let's make one big law and cover all 50 states.
Hmm.
And I have a problem with that. Sean, you're right about that too. A lot of people do simply go on name recognition. Uh, they people don't they spend more time on TikTok than looking at what their representative in Congress does. They spend more time playing video games, Warcraft or Fortnite or whatever the Call of Duty, whatever the popular video game is of the day, than looking at what their representative in the Congress does or what their city councilman or school board member is doing. Those of us who actually pay attention to Congress, to what our House members are doing, we're a minority. We really are. And I'm that's on both sides of the aisle. The problem, my side of the aisle, the conservative side of the aisle is we have not been as vocal in our positions and our beliefs as the other side has. And of course, the side that's the most vocal, is going to get, the news, and they're the ones that's going to get become the news makers, and they're the ones whose opinions are going to be put out there among the populace. Therefore, their opinions are going to become what everybody believes is acceptable. That then becomes the standard. I'm going to go back to Will and Grace, the TV show. The
Okay, let's hear
producers,
it.
well, no, it's the producers came out and flat right admitted one of their main purposes of that show was to normalize the gay marriages and the gay identity. They wanted to
Okay.
normalize it, and that was one of the purposes they had in it.
I don't have a problem with the gay marriage. If they want to be as miserable as the rest of us, go right ahead, man.
Right. I mean, but 30 years ago, that even 10 years ago, gay marriages, 10, 15 years ago, gay marriages was not as widely accepted.
No, we know that.
All
Yeah.
right. I mean, I don't mind people living together. That's fine. You um, I just don't like, want the idea that a gay couple can walk into a church and demand that a church marry them.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a religious thing, and no, that's a no, no,
Or that they can demand that a church opens up their property for their wedding,
no.
which has happened. There's been a couple of churches who have been sued because they wouldn't open up their property for weddings to a gay couple. While they had, you could use a heterosexual couple could use their property, but they refused to allow a gay couple to, and they got sued. A couple of churches been sued over it. I can't say that I remember particularly what the outcome of it was of the lawsuit. I just remember the lawsuits happened. But
Yeah.
anyway, getting back to what's going on in DC right now. I just felt especially after re-listening to how my conversation went yesterday, that I wasn't very clear on my position. Because again, I feel a lot of this should have been handled in the background.
Yeah.
The Republicans should have gotten together and had meetings and got this all worked out, and then been able to walk in and shown a unified face when this happened. They had 2 months to do it in. This didn't all blow up overnight. This wasn't a last minute deal. This is something that started 2 months ago, and it should have already been resolved. We should not be having this dog and pony show right now. That's why I'm upset with everybody in the Congress right now on the Republican side. I was actually going there, Sean. That was one of the next things I was doing. And that's how acrimonious this is going. Crenshaw is calling people who won't vote for McCarthy terrorists. Y'all didn't need to hear me cough, but I've lost all respect for Crenshaw. I had high hopes for him when he first got elected, but he is just another slug. He has proven himself just to be another slug. He's played his military background and wounds for everything it had. I thought he was going to be a lot stronger of a conservative than what he's turned out to be. He's turned out to be more just another political animal. And yes, I know a lot of Texans were telling me that 2 years ago, and I didn't believe them. I guess I should have. But anyway, um, where's that getting into this? Here we go. Da, 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 da. Let's come to CNN here. And again, this here's where I am finding, the media is doing their things.
What the hell's going on? What's going on is the kind of.
All right, first of all, professionalism here. The lack of professionalism here, I mean, just what the hell is going on? There's better ways of phrasing that without saying that. What in the world is going on? Why is this happening? Let's be a little bit more professional about this.
What the hell's
Really?
What's going on is the kind of dysfunction that happens when extremes call the shots. And that's been a theme in our politics for the past decade, but never like this.
When extremes are calling the politics. Okay.
Don't buy it when members of Congress say, well, this is all some form of normal. Yeah. It ain't.
This is great. The back and forth. It's good for the country. It's not.
They're
not.
Lying. They're not telling the truth. This is complete chaos, and it degrades our democracy, right? This is a lot bigger. When you get a handful of small number.
It degrades our democracy. Having this conversation, I'm not happy with it. I've said it. I'm not happy with what's going on. I don't like this being out in public. Not because it degrades our democracy. I think this strengthens our democracy when we have these sides arguing this out and listening to each other's viewpoints and compromising, trying to make things happen, and giving everybody a choice.
A lot bigger when you get a handful of small number of people who have this kind of power. That they're willing to derail everything for a series of demands. That makes our country look weaker than we are.
Okay. So CNN here is really against small group of people making demands. Morning, Mr. Scott. How you doing today? So CNN is really against small groups of people making demands. That's what I just heard. Is that what you just heard, Roman?
I don't even know anymore, man. I just think CNN is against anything that the majority of the population wants. So.
Well, but didn't you just hear him say that 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 it's outrageous when a small group of people make demands?
Yeah.
Remember these people?
Let me switch browsers. Oh yeah.
Remember this small group of people taking over Speaker Pelosi's office, making demands?
Well, I guess I don't need to eat today. Thanks a lot, dude. I'm good. Yeah, I remember though.
I don't remember CNN berating this group of people.
Well,
AOC.
they're women, so I
I
mean,
don't remember them berating Ilion or Ayana or Rashid. I don't remember them taking these people on and saying that they're bad for democracy. I don't remember that happening.
well, we all know what CNN's issue is, so yeah, I'm
So,
down with it.
so CNN, as usual, you can kiss my ass. Excuse my language, but where is your nonpartisanship here? You treated these four women with kid gloves. You praised them for their actions when they were very disruptive, when they held up votes, when they caused disruptions with on the Democratic Party when in the House. You held them up as forces to be reckoned with. You loved them.
Of course they did.
Now, evidently, McCarthy they had another meeting last night, which we all knew was happening. And McCarthy is still going to, I mean, McCarthy is going to become Speaker. He is going to be second in line to the presidency. And I love it. I love saying second in line when everybody else is saying third. No, he's second. Whoever the Speaker of the House is second in line. The Vice President is first in line. You have the President. He is the President. He or she is the President. Vice President is first in line to replace the President. The Speaker of the House is second in line to become President. I just love hearing this third in line. When everybody says they're third, I hear even professional newscasters who should know better call them third in line. If they're third in line, who's first and second in line? Because the president is the president. He's not, that person is not in line to become president. They already are. So, all right. But there have been some concessions. Wednesday night, first reported by CNN Wednesday night, McCarthy agreed to propose rules change that would allow just one member to call for a vote to oust a sitting speaker. That's good. I like that. But I can see that rule being abused, horribly abused. The rules changed. Okay, according to two sources familiar with the matter, McCarthy had initially proposed a 5-member threshold down from the current conference rules that required GOP to call for such a vote. I think I like 5 people better than 1. Because again, you get somebody like Bobart in there, or that in a pissing contest with the speaker, and I just think having one person is too easily proved to be abusive. All right. He also agreed to allow for more members of the Freedom Caucus to serve on the House Rules Committee, which dictates how and whether bills come to the floor. All right. And to vote on a handful of bills that are priority for holdouts, include proposing term limits on members and border security plan. Again, I am not a fan of term limits. I have never been a fan on term limits for House or Senate positions. And I explained that. And a border security plan, my God, when we got 3 million people a year just crossing the border, honestly, I think that in and of itself, any president that allows that not only is allowing it, but by their actions endorsing it, endorsing the idea through their actions and inactions of people can just cross our border and stay in the country. I think that's ought to be grounds for impeachment. I really do. There should be no way in hell that any president allows what's been going on for the past 2 years at our border. Republican sources say that even McCarthy's offers were accepted, it's still not getting 218 he needs. Because while these concessions could meet new support, other opponents have raised different concerns that have yet to be fully addressed. What those other concerns are, I don't know. Have not been able to find them out this morning. That's one of the reasons I wish I'd got when I woke up at 3:30 this morning. I would have stayed up and started doing some research. Surprised the Dems haven't tried to removing the vice president and just assign the speaker to the presidents when they win. Okay, Sean, who set off a bomb in the congressional building? That I'm not really familiar. I don't remember that happening. Bomb in 1983. Bomb in Congress, 1983. All right, who did that? 6 members of the radical far left resistance conspiracy were charged with it. All right, so those weren't members of Congress that did that. All right. Yeah, Sean, those weren't members of Congress that set off that bomb. All right, but we have had Democrats, we've had the squad take over Pelosi's office with their demands. And that was praised. Look at the strength of these women pushing for theirs. Remember, we were all joking how Pelosi was becoming a puppet of the squad? How AOC was the actual Speaker of the House because Pelosi was doing everything she wanted her done.
AOC sounds like a fucking idiot. Are you kidding me?
Well,
you know what? Okay, shh. I'll be right
back. Do you know what? I'll be right back. Okay. Uh yeah, there was the bombing in 1983. That was by that radical group because of Grenada. Y- Yeah, Sean, that's exactly. Nancy was caving into to AOC and the squad because she saw the praise and support they were getting from the media.
Okay, I don't remember what I was going to say, so I'm sure it wasn't important. But I'm going to go out of here to deal with my kids, but I'm going to have you on in my headset and I'll be thinking of you. So, bye,
Well, just think
y'all.
nice thoughts then, okay?
I always think nice thoughts about you. And if I can find something I can actually comment on, because I'm an idiot when it comes to politics, I'll come busting in here, kids loud or not. Bye.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
All right. But yeah, I mean, so again, though, I'm just wanting to make my position clear on what's been going on with up there in Congress, because by no way, shape, and or form do I want anybody to think I'm wanting to. A huge supporter of McCarthy, that I want him to be Speaker of the House. I am accepting the fact that he will become Speaker of the House. That's not a. That's just for the simple fact that it is politics, and while Matt Grant's Gates and Bobar and the other 20 may be sitting there saying, "Well, we've got other supporters out there. They're just da 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 da." If there are members of the House who are supporting what the 20 are doing, but they aren't voting with the 20, they're voting to put McCarthy in, then I want their names, particularly if it's my member of the House. I want to know that what's going on. I haven't been able to get an answer back from his office. I've already called his office a couple three times and I haven't been able to get through to get an answer back. But that is what it is. I mean, I'm if he's supporting McCarthy, he's supporting McCarthy. Okay, that's great. But if he is actually supporting the views of the 20, but he's voting McCarthy just to go along, then I'll be voting against him in the next election. I promise you that. So, like I said, I just wanted to clear up anything because I realized after listening to myself, re-listening to that part of the show yesterday, I sounded more like I was supporting McCarthy than what I actually do. All right. Now, and I am keeping uh, a couple websites open to see if there's anything happening that will with this whole thing. I'm just hoping maybe we will get something. All right, so let's go here. Um, I'm ah no, no. I gotta be good. I can't. I was going to show. I'm going to put a link in the thing here. This is from Twitter, of course. A gentleman of obvious over 21 age, adult age, had been arranging or in communication with a 12-year-old young lady. And he finally sets up a meeting place. Well, he goes to meet this young lady. He shows up at the time and on the date arranged. However, he was not greeted by this young lady, this 12-year-old, as he had hoped to be greeted. He was actually greeted by her father and household pets. And the greeting was not such as he had expected. So I would like y'all to go watch that video. I'm not going to play for the simple fact I still have an open strike. And if I get another strike at this time, then I'll be out for 2 more weeks. And I don't want to go 2 more weeks, especially since I don't have 100 people over on Rumble. Because what that would mean is I would have to produce. What I would do is I just produce videos and upload them, which may not be that bad of an idea. Just produce videos and upload them. But anyway, yeah, go ahead and watch that video. And I think the father met the gentleman in the appropriate fashion. Now then, speaking of dogs, is this welcome, Amy? That is a man inside of a dog costume. This is how he lives a part of his life. Yes, this is how this man lives part of his life in this dog costume. This is taking the yeah. That gentleman wants to live like a dog. Here, I'll put that link down there too if y'all want. And of course, he's out of Japan. But of course, it's not just people wanting to become dogs or animals. Let me, they just don't go and buy those outrageous outfits. This guy had plastic surgery to make himself look like a dog or something. There we go. He had the muzzle attached to his face. Unbelievable. Hey, I gotta live up to the I want to be like an animal title of the stream today. I run across this mess last night, and I just had to share it. I just had to share this stuff because, well, I'm just that kind of guy. If I had to see it, so did you. There's I'm trying to find I was trying to find this story again. Ramen, yeah, unfortunately, that is real. Yeah, I agree, Amy. That's well, I mean, Sean, we're allowing surgeons to cut the boobs and genitals of preteens up. So, I mean, face it, this guy's an adult. He had a dog muzzle attached to his face. Yeah. Well, Ramen, here's one more thing. If I had to see it, you have to see it. Again, for people wanting to pretend to be things that they're actually not. Ah, on your grocery stores, in the men's aisle, right next to the razors and shaving cream. Men's shampoo and deodorant. Morning, Green Badger. You missed it. Hey, Eagle. This ah strange things that I've come across. Yeah, Eagle is exactly what you thought it was. It's exactly what you thought it was. Good morning, CK. Ah, if you want to be an animal, if you want to be something you're actually not. I think that goes in pretty well with the first part of this discussion we had today. People wanting to be what they're actually not. Because we got people in the Republican Party that are not really Republicans. Now we're an hour in, and I'm going to got a 3-minute video here I'm going to play. All right. Because, well, I just want to get this news out if anybody else had not seen it. Okay.
Oh, are we rolling? We good? All right. This isn't a video I'm really looking forward to making, but I think it's about time to know when to call it quits on an issue where I'm just beating my head against a wall and it's just not going anywhere. If you're curious what this is, you're not paying attention. This is the set for the Speakeasy channel where I do mixed drinks and spirit talk and all that stuff. But that's it. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm done. I can't keep fighting. This channel got demonetized in 2019, and I have fought and fought and fought. I emailed YouTube every day, tweeted at them every day for about 6 months. I had gone on, and I had done reapplications. As soon as the demonetization hit, immediately, I was getting 60 to 70,000 views per video, dropped down to nothing. And I'd be lucky if I got 10,000 views a couple of weeks after I was demonetized. As soon as I stopped making money for them, they just didn't put me in an algorithm. People might be wondering what happened that we got demonetized. It was during the Carlos Maza stuff, and that was a whole issue, and we just never got remonetized over here. I'm giving up on this channel. I don't upload to it anymore. I don't stream to it anymore. But I'm not giving up on doing this. This is my dream job. I have met it with pretty decent success, so I will continue to do this, but just not here. I will tell you where to go to find me. That will be the Sinatra Screams channel. I will link that down below. And then from there, I made a new channel that is completely separate from everything else, but you're going to have to pay attention and figure out how to find it. Because maybe I'm just too paranoid. I don't even want to say it, to link it, to do anything. You're going to have to go to my Twitter. You're going to have to be in my Discord. I will link all that down below. But I will continue to upload. I will continue to do the AAA meeting. I am not going away, but this channel is. I've fought, and it's very hard for me, but I can't do it anymore. I'm beating my head against the wall, and it's just not working. But if you're not going to follow me over there, it's okay. I appreciate you being here. 6 years, I've amassed nearly 200,000 people to come listen to me meander and babble. I cannot think of anything better. But I would appreciate it if you followed me over to the new channels where I will still be uploading. I will still be doing my live streams, the podcasts, and all that stuff. And then you could come hang out here on the Speakeasy channel, and I'll link all that down below. So I will link my Discord. I will link the Sinatra Screams channel, which is also demonetized because it's connected to this channel. I will link my Twitter, my Discord, the Sinatra Screams channel, and the Speakeasy channel. I'll link all that. But if you're looking for other content like I do, not used to do, still do, I'll link Polydub's channel, I will link Drunken Uncle's channel, and I will link Gulf City's Twitch. You can find me in all of these places too, where I do guest spots and I come on and I hang out. But this is rough. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all of you for at least spending a little bit of time with me, for coming, hanging out, and being a part of this community. We're not going away, just this channel is, and I hope you come with me.
All right. I put that up there because Sinatra has been, I remember when he first started, and I'm sorry to see him go. He's been he's a very interesting guy to watch, to listen to. And if anybody is interested in his other channel, the one he just come up with, okay, I'm posting the link to it now. There's his new channel. There's no videos up on it yet. Okay. He's already got 646 subs. So please go over, sub to his new channel. All right. And let's help him out. The man puts out some good content, and I'm sorry to see him go. I'm sorry to see him lose that channel. So, anyway. No. Did I? Yeah, I did. There we go. Sorry. Okay, there it is. Oh, Badger. Yeah, you need to watch the Realistic Dog Suit. Now, I didn't tell Sin that I was going to do that, but I'm sure he won't get angry and won't chastise me or give me a strike or anything for doing it, for promoting his new stuff. But yeah, I hate to see his channel go. He's a good guy, and I think he deserves. YouTube still owes him well over $4,000 from when they initially struck his channel. When they strike your channel and unsub you like that, any money they owe you, they keep. They don't send you that final paycheck. They hold on to it under the premise, well, someday we'll remonetize you. And when we remonetize you, then that'll be your starting bank account. So, uh, he made some comments about a uh, he made some comments about a gentleman and the gentleman had quite a bit of power with YouTube, and the guy didn't like what Sin said about him, and Sin didn't have the pull that Crowder had. And while Crowder was able to recover everything, Sinatra wasn't. It's in your Green Badger. It's in your agreement that you sign when you want to monetize your channel with YouTube, and it would take somebody filing lawsuit in California against YouTube, somebody with a lot of money filing a class action lawsuit against YouTube in California to make them change it, which won't happen. So anyway, people go over and visit him. I'm not going to say the new channel's name out. You know, he didn't say his new channel. I'm not going to say it either. All right. Let's see. So, all right. And that's really all I got for today. Um, there is just so much other stuff. There is other things going on. Of CNN, they're I okay, let's see here. CNN's put up here a story, let's take a look at what CNN. This is the kind of stuff that irritates the hell out of me. And this is why I can't watch the news anymore. I can't, particularly CNN. All right, CNN. What do the hardliners, that 20 want? The Freedom Caucus. All right, this is what CNN's got to say about them. They don't speak for a majority of the Republicans. The 20 anti-McCarthy Republicans to derail represent less than 10% of the House GOP. Well, exactly how many, what percentage did the squad represent of the House Democrats? They aren't the entirety of the Freedom Caucus. They make up less than half of the ultra-conservative, ultra-MAGA. Well, I'll tell you what, I have no problem being called ultra-MAGA. Make America great again. Instead of the wimpy ass country that the entire world is laughing at right now. They're sort of getting support. Okay, yeah, she got another. They did get another one. For some, it is personal. Won't vote for Kevin McCarthy, but vote for someone else. That's right. Vote for anybody who's going to support their conditions. But McCarthy is a weak ass leader. He's more of a Democrat than most Republicans are. I need to do some more research on Scalise before I can say one way or another on him. Lawmakers want painful cuts now to end deficit spending. Yes, we need to make cuts. All right. Why are we paying for criminals in prison to have gender transitions surgeries, especially one that's on death row? Really? They're not getting out of prison. They're sitting on death row. Why did we pay for them to have a gender transition? But we did. I don't think, CNN is saying that the public flight is part of what they wanted. I don't think it may be what one or two wanted, but I don't think it was really something that they wanted. But it is, you know, uh, again, remember the squad. They sat there saying that, we want this stuff done. They didn't have any problems. CNN had no problems with everything the squad did. They didn't. And none of the media had any problem. Fox News accepted, the talk shows on Fox News. This is what, the way CNN portrays this stuff, it just irritates the hell out of me. It really does. Okay. Let's see here. What? Got a couple. The wife and I, we went out last weekend, New Year's Eve, of course, and found a couple of interesting T-shirts. Oh, come on, open up. Can I show these without showing my name? All right, let's see. All right, I'll show this one first. This is the T-shirt I want. If I could have found this in a men's size that would have fit me, I would have bought it. Not that I have an Alexa. Okay. So, and let's see, what was the other one? And no, this one. I can't show that one. Let's see here. Now I can show it. Okay. See, I just got to be careful here. Okay, here's the other one that came in. That's good, CK. Yeah, if I could have found either one of these shirts in a size that would have fit me, I would have bought them. But Eagle, you didn't know who Engelbert Humperdinck was? Oh my God, you youngin'. You youngin'. Because I know you had to know who Johnny Cash was. There's not a person alive who doesn't know who Johnny Cash was. Alive in this country, at least. Yeah, you're right. There's quite a few people that fit for idiot. Oh, Engelbert, yeah. He was a definite panty dropper when he was out there singing. He let's see if we can find a picture of old Engelbert because he was Engelbert Humperdinck. And let's find some images of him in his prime. Oh, come on. Quit showing the old man, Engelbert. All they're showing is the old man, Engelbert. Here we go. Here's one of his young man pictures. This guy, yada yada yada. Here it is. Man, trying to find a picture of him when he was young and on stage singing. Now, that is what the ladies were going nuts over. Oh yeah, Tom Jones was another one. Oh, your mom really liked Engelbert. Yeah, well, not surprising. Not surprising. Uh, anyway, da 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 da. Should I do that? Do I want to do this to y'all again? No. Well, I started this with it. Let's see here. No, that's not a good video. I thought I'd found a good video of another guy who's wanting to be a dog, but couldn't find the link they gave is a broken link. So that these guys probably dropped that video. So Oh, Engelbert. Yeah, he was English. I don't know who you're making threats to there, Ramen, but I'm just glad it's not me. All right. I've got my kids out of the house. I don't need more. The only new kid I want in my house is my grandson. And back up this way. Do I want to do this? Do I really want to do this here? I've got a few more minutes to fill. I'm just trying to decide if I want to open up another can of worms here. Uh, yeah, I'm going to open up a can of worms. Got a few more minutes here. I want to cover. Want to fill for a few more minutes before I get ready. I've got to get ready for infusion. My nurse should be here in about 45 minutes. So I got a few more minutes here to infuse or before I got to do anything. Racism is live and well on the internet. We all know it. But there's only one form of racism that gets stamped out on the internet. The other side of it's quite welcomed, quite healthy. It's it's encouraged, shall we say. Belle Femme Noir. Self preservation is the first law of nature. Mating with a dying race is not a flex. He's just he's one generation from genetic annihilation. Now, what was supposed to be a very homey, sweet family portrait showing quite the brood, quite the family. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 children. And apparently most of them girls. This is the only one here I'm willing to bet is a boy. She's upset that it's a black man married to a white woman. And of course, who's the dying race? Well, it's the white woman's race. Warning to all non black people: you're not invited in my space, and anything you say will be held against you. And yes, if you are a white person and aren't 100% her ally, she will block you. But that kind of racism is more than welcome on the internet these days. Like the Jacksons, Ross, the Kardashians, and other mixed families, these mixed will then say they're black and take over our heritage, which is why the one drop rule must be dropped, especially in our minds. I'm not saying these folks aren't black, but it can't be automatic. They're free to go over there. Yeah. Look at this type of racism. Anti-white racism is it's it's absolutely welcomed. So that one drop rule, that was right. Okay, that one drop rule that she was referring to, CK. I'm sure you know that. That was a discriminatory by certain members of the Democratic Party back in the bad old days of racism in this country. And I I've got to say this again. All right, I've been lucky in my lifetime. I've been lucky when it comes to this. My best friend growing up was a black man, was a black guy. My two best friends growing up were two black guys, brothers. The only two blacks that lived within a couple of miles of where I lived. The only black family. We went to scouts together. We played tag football in their yard together. I ate at their house. They ate at my house. Their parents were as near and dear to me as could possibly be. I actually wanted to date one of their cousins. Her parents and my parents were against it. That's why we never dated, because our parents wouldn't allow it. This is back in the late 60s, early 70s. Then, of course, I went in the military, worked with a lot of blacks and Hispanics and Jews and everybody else, every other race you can think of. I met as I met more people I didn't like in my military career who were white. I knew more people who couldn't do the job as they were supposed to do, who were white males, than females or blacks or Hispanics or whatever other race you want to think of. So maybe I was lucky in my lifetime that I did not grow up or uh, have any reason to judge people based on their race or their skin color or whatever else, because I was exposed to all this and throughout my lifetime. Now, I will have to admit, working at a hotel and you see the civilian side, you see people come walking in and you sort of start to draw conclusions based upon what you see. And it can make you appear to be racist because, well, honestly, you start judging people on how they're dressed and how they act when they walk in the door. And there's just certain things that you see that, follow certain trends, shall we say. But this whole idea that there's that any form of racism is good. Is allowed. If you're not going to allow, if racism is not going to be allowed, outright racism, and we hear everybody talk about we got to end the white supremacy racists. We got to end the white racists on the internet. We've got to do this. We got to stop the people from slurring blacks and LGBTQ and whatever. What about people like this? Why is that being allowed out there on the internet? Why is that being supported? Oh, Eagle, my wife, she's I'll sit down with her to watch the local news because I want to know what's happening in my community. And then all the local news always has their bit of national news stuff, and they'll come on national news, and she'll look at me, and I'll say, "Okay, it's time for me to get a cup of coffee, or let me go grab a bite out of the refrigerator." Because when they start talking, I don't want to hear what the local news has to say about the national news, especially politics wise, because we know it's all distorted. The local news, when they're talking about what's going on locally, usually isn't too bad. They don't distort too badly what's going on locally. But it's when they get to the national stuff or some of the stuff that goes on in Tallahassee. Oh, exactly, CK. You're exactly right. When they and any black that happens to come out as a conservative, they're, well, you must be, an Oreo, you must be this, you must be that. You're a face of the white supremacy. You're against your own people. What do you mean I'm against my own people? My own people are Americans. My own people are United States citizens. I don't care what color your skin is, as long as you have the morals, the beliefs in our country that made our country great. I don't care what religion you practice, as long as what you practice isn't a religion of destruction. You don't believe, your religion isn't endorsing throwing people off of roofs to teach them how to fly. Your religion isn't out there teaching people that gay person has to be sexually mutilated. If that's part of your religion, I don't want you in my. I don't care what else you believe. So, and yeah, exactly. No, and practice what you preach. And I'm going to be the first one to admit I don't always practice what I preach. I try to live up to my own standards. I really do. I'm human and I fail. Yes, there are some issues I am a hypocrite on. I'm sorry, but I fully admit them when those issues pop up. Yes, there are times you can call me a hypocrite, and I'm going to have to agree with you on it. But I believe those issues are important enough that there is no other side to it. Eagle, thank you. You're you're exactly right on that. Thank you, Amy, for stopping by. Appreciate you. Your Farmer Jim lost his cow. We've had that lost cow thing on our local news a couple of times. Yeah, I mean, we all, you know, I've never, I'm a practicing Christian. I and do I always act in the most Christ-like fashion? No, I don't. I've got my shortcomings. All I can do is pray for forgiveness and try not to fall short the next time it happens. Oh, good luck, CK. I hope you didn't get too much damage. Oh, that's right. You're out in California. You got hit that big storm last night. Oh, did it drop as much rain as what they said they were going to get? Something like 8, 12 inches of rain in just a few hours? I hate to say it, but I forgot that was going to happen. But anyway, people, uh, you know, all I can say is let's all try to just get along on this. Really. Let's just try to get along with it. You know, don't hold each other to impossible standards, but at least try to hold people to standards. And there are some standards that can't be compromised on. And our constitutional, and that's the great thing about our constitution. It's written in such a way that everybody can understand it. If you have a basic understanding of the English language, yes, there's a few things that you have to understand what the words meant in that time period, like the Second Amendment, a well regulated. What did they mean by well regulated? Because it does not mean then that phrase, what it meant then, does not mean what it means now. So yeah, there's some terminology that needs to be explained, that needs to be annotated, but for the most part, the Constitution is written in very plain English. It still can be understood today. Well, I'm glad you didn't get the worst of it there, CK. But anyway, I want to thank y'all for coming out. CK, I hope your damage is minimal. And what is there is covered by insurance. God, I'm so glad my house is shut. I had over $30,000 damage to my house when Hurricane Michael come rolling through Florida, and I'd only been in the house not even a year. Been in the house about 8 months when it happened. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out and listening to me rant and rave here for a little bit and putting up the dog, letting people see what, the animals. I want to be something I'm not. I want to be something I'm not. Well, yeah, I want to be something I'm not. I want to be perfect. I want to be, as Mac Davis said, perfect in every way. Unfortunately, I'm not, but I really want to be. All I can do is strive. So, anyway, as always, everyone, please have a good day. Be with the ones that you love and love the ones that you're with. And thank you much for coming out.